Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live from our studios here at Kokomlemle. Is Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Amenuveve Radio in Aflao, Swiss FM in Ho, Gaskiar FM in Techiman, Jata FM in Karaga, Radio Wa in Wa, and KTU Radio in Koforidua. For our global audience, please download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live. In this edition, Roads Minister describes as unreasonable demand.
And common sense will tell everybody that government cannot build all roads in Ghana simultaneously.
We'll hear from some of them who have been agitating for roads in recent times. Barely 24 hours to what is expected to be a widespread shutdown of transport services over hikes in fuel prices. Transport operators are standing their ground.
Anytime the price of diesel and fuel is increased, we fight among ourselves a lot.
Need for the government to come in and subsidize on that.
The increment in fuel, yes, it's not good. It's not good at all.
The National Petroleum Authority is meanwhile warning of dire consequences on fuel quality should taxes be scrapped.
There might be a certain marginal relief on the prices that we pay for the product. But the consequences we might not be affecting our minds to is the compromise, the possible compromise on the quality of the product.
Also in this package, budgetary allocation to education expected to increase by 14% for the year 2022, with the tertiary sector the main focus. Will this be the right step is the question. We have details in our hashtag budget 2022 build-up, and also the start state of the Volta Region Center of Education Excellence, Bishop Herman College.
We believe that some work can be done, put the building in shape to restore it into its former glory, as it were.
The school is in ruins and currently a disaster waiting to happen. We'll take you there live in sports.
The Ghana Football Association questioned FIFA's commitment to fair play when Ethiopia chose a venue in South Africa for a penultimate World Cup qualifier against the Black Stars. But the World Football Governing Body has an assurance for the FA and the country at large. We have details in 20 minutes.
And later, the IGP meets creative industry today at the police headquarters already. We're told about some drama there involving Shatawale. We have details of that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Many thanks for joining us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, the Roads and Highways Minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, has described as unreasonable demands for the fixing of all deplorable roads by government. There's been sustained demonstrations in parts of the country for government to fix roads in such states. But the minister says the Akufo-Addo administration is working with a plan informed by financial limitations and will not be swayed by those agitating for roads to be fixed. He was addressing the media after inspecting ongoing works to dualize some portions of the Accra-Kumasi Highway.
And common sense will tell everybody that government cannot build all roads in Ghana simultaneously. Ghana has got something around 80,000 kilometers of road, okay? And it must be done within the financial confines of government. And anybody, who wants to be objective, unless you want to introduce politics into it. Look at road construction going on in this country. Within 4 years, government had built 1,500 kilometers of asphalt road. Within 4 years, government is working simultaneously on 9 interchanges. Has it ever happened in this country? Surface dressing in thousands of kilometers. Even as at now, between now and 2024, government has programmed to do 11,000 kilometers, for which 6,000 we are sure to complete. Demonstration or no demonstration. Government has a program and we are following it. And it's unreasonable for any individual to think that Ghana or government should build all roads.
So that's the Roads and Highways Minister, Kwesi Amwakwata, there reacting to persons talking about government fixing roads in deplorable state, and then adding that demonstrations will not sway them to fix these roads. Let me take you to Damfa. You know that my colleague Emmanuel Kranting has been to the area, interacted with a contractor, mentioning that they are back on site, but the state of the road will remain same, and hoping that in 7 months or so, all things being equal, they will be able to fix the roads. But the youth leader for Danfa is Ken Hulete. Thankfully, he joins us on the line. We're grateful for your time, Mr. Hulete. So you've heard the roads minister. It's not about demonstrations. We are looking at financial limitations, and that your demonstrations amongst that of others will not sway government to fix your roads.
Well, good afternoon to yourself and your listeners. That response is quite unfortunate because I'm sure the minister is living in a government-built bungalow where the road has been tarred from his house to his office. Look, when you come to Danfa, first of all, let me quote what Omaru Sanders said. Let me paraphrase. He said when he drove on that road, Danfa to Amahia, and he got to his destination, he knelt down and begged his car for driving it through that road. That's how bad the road was. And so for the minister to respond and say that demonstration or no demonstration, I think that is quite unfortunate, and it is begging the issue. I think the minister should speak to the issues that we raised at the demonstration. We are saying that if the minister is serious about his job, a contractor who was given a contract last year, July 2020, and is supposed to finish in 2021, June, is still carrying himself as the contractor of that project when a single kilometer of the road hasn't been done. I think that the minister should take the people of Ghana very serious. The truth is that the people of Danfa and the people of Medina haven't seen any construction of road, and we will continue to use our legitimate tool of demonstrating until we begin to see the government taking us serious.
That's Ken Hulete, is a youth leader of Damfa. There, let me take you to the Volta region now, where 234 students of the Fuvuma Basic School have been compelled to study in 2 classrooms after tidal waves destroyed more than 200 structures along the coastline of some communities in the Volta region. The community lost its first school to the sea in 2016. According to teachers, Kindergarten 1 to JHS 2 students now study in 1 classroom as final year students occupy the second classroom to prepare for their final exams next week. Maxo Agbagba is reporting from the community.
Some children of Fuveme here in the Anglo district playing in one of the classrooms which is no longer being used. Now, just about 50 meters away is the ocean, and from where I'm standing, I can still hear its roaring waves. These children did not go to school today. The tidal waves that pounded this community left in its trail uprooted coconut trees, collapsed residential structures, and school buildings. Now, some classroom blocks of the Fuveme Basic School can no longer be used, and some of the students have not reported to school since Sunday. Headmaster of the school is here discussing with some opinion leaders what they are going to do to ameliorate the situation. And the discussion will continue here together with some of the residents. I have one of them here with me. So what's your name?
My name is Knowledge Deon.
Okay, and you are?
I'm from Fuvama.
Tell me, what is the situation here? We've seen the devastation caused by the storm surge here. The storm surge here.
Yeah, there is a flood. So it washes from the sea and destroy the 4 classroom blocks at Fuvama.
And this happened on Sunday?
This happened on Sunday.
I'm told you relocated the school?
Yeah, in 2016, the school was relocated.
Why was it relocated?
It was relocated here.
Okay.
Yeah, but formerly it was there.
Okay.
And relocated in 2016.
Why was it relocated?
It was relocated because of the tidal waves coming from the sea.
Okay. So where's the old school now?
The old school is no more because it has been taken away by sea.
And this second one has also been destroyed?
By the sea waves. That's the tidal waves. On last Sunday night.
Do you have any idea the number of schools, the number of homes that were destroyed?
It has destroyed about 400 houses. So people have no place to sleep.
That's my colleague Maxwell Abugba interacting with residents of Fuvume. There, we're told that the basic school, they are compelled to study in just 2 classrooms, KG1 to JHS2 students, now study in 1, and then final year students also occupy the second. Maxwell is still in the community, joins us on the line. Maxwell, I'm sure you've been interacting with these students. What have they been telling you?
Well, they tell me that there's no academic activity whatsoever, even when they report to school. And that's what their teachers have been telling me. They say they cannot do any effective teaching with students from KG1 to JHS2 packed in one class. Right now, though, in the community, some of the residents have started removing the roofing sheets of their buildings in anticipation. Some of them are removing the roofing sheets because they say that very soon the ocean is going to come and wash away the building. So they don't want to lose everything to the ocean. So at least they're removing the roofing sheet so they can sell it and make some money out of it.
And we can hear them clearly doing that in the background. But yesterday, as at last night also, you are reporting on communities out of the 15 that have received not more relief items. Last night, it was just about 1 community. What's the status now in terms of the distribution of relief items?
Yeah, we were told that some of the communities that did not receive it yesterday are getting it today. In fact, the NADMO authorities, yesterday at the Keta Municipal Assembly, distributed the various relief items to the 3 affected districts. So we're talking about the Keta South municipality, the Keta municipality, and then the Anglo district. So the districts have now taken charge of the distribution of the relief items. And we're told that is continuing today. Indeed, we've seen some communities receiving their share, but none has actually arrived here in this community. I've been speaking to some of the residents. It is one of the hard-to-reach communities in the Anglo district. In fact, it was very difficult for us to get here. But for the 4-wheel drive that we're using, we couldn't have gotten access here.
That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba there reporting from Vuvume in the Volta region. Now let's talk about another pressing issue, and in barely 24 hours there'll be a major shutdown of transport service by private operators unless government intervenes. This intervention, according to the drivers' unions, should be the cancellation of at least 5 taxes on petroleum products. The National Petroleum Authority says scrapping of some of these taxes could potentially affect the quality of fuel. Transport fares have increased on more than 3 occasions in the last 2 months. The driver unions say this is unbearable.
Commuters at the Circle Terminal wait patiently for the buses to take off. This wait may be longer than usual on Thursday unless government acts swiftly. The driver unions want at least 5 taxes scrapped.
We call on government to scrap totally the price stabilization and recovery levy of the 16 pesewa per litre per gallon per petrol, and then the 14 pesewa per litre per diesel. The special petroleum tax, which is 46 per litre, the energy sector levy recovery levy of 20 cedi per litre on either petrol or diesel, and the sanitation and pollution levy, which is 10 pesos per litre on either diesel or petrol. And lastly, the scrap of the energy debt recovery levy of 28 pesos on either diesel or petrol, since the arrears of the legacy debt owed to the bulk distribution companies have been cleared.
They say a failure by government to heed the call will result in a sit-down strike.
On Thursday, from 6 o'clock up to 3 o'clock, we will take the workers to workplace. And from 3 o'clock, we cease to work. We will not work again.
time for us to flex the muscles and see who will budge first. We are ready. We will face them till the right thing is done here.
Well, so you heard there, the transport unions, up to 16 of them raising concerns about fuel prices that have increased on more than 3 occasions in the last 2 months alone. Energy analyst Kojo Poku says the call by the drivers' unions are misplaced. Here's why.
Government cannot scrap those taxes they talk of. You see, we've been hammering this thing for the past month, and we are saying that the price stabilization levy was a levy set up to put money in an account to help Ghanaians when times are hard. Times are hard now. Instead of asking government to scrap taxes, ask government to use the 1.2 billion which is out there. You see, I don't see how government can scrap taxes and you are still asking for development, roads, hospitals, and all the things you want. That's the only way government gets revenue. In good times, government said we should put something aside. We did. Since January 2016, we've been putting money aside. That kitty should have been 2.5 billion. Let's say government used 50% of that to subsidize premiums. There should be half of that money for Ghanaians today.
Well, the National Petroleum Authority agrees with this view. Communications Manager Mohammed Abdul Kudus says scrapping such taxes would have dire consequences for consumers.
The fuel market is supposed to check possible adulteration to guarantee and ensure that the quality as it is from the point of the depot that it was taken to the point of the pump that it is to be discharged so that you and I can buy. It is that particular component of the price build-up that guarantees the margin. That guarantees the quality. So today, if it was to be suspended, scrapped, or taken out, what it means is that there might be a certain marginal relief on the prices that we pay for the product. But the consequences we might not be affecting our minds to is the compromise, the possible compromise on the quality of the product. The UPPF margin is supposed to bring a certain equalization in the prices of the product, regardless where you are in the country. So what it means is that if that component was to be suspended, the further you are away from the depot, the higher you are likely to pay for the price of fuel.
That's the communications manager at MPA, Mohammed Abdul Kudus, speaking there on the AM show on the Joy News channel. Government, meanwhile, says it hopes to meet the 16 driver unions shortly. Frederick Adumobing is Deputy Transport Minister.
It will be quite disheartening to hear that maybe by Thursday, 3 p.m., they've laid down their tools and how will we even commit to work. The fuel price increment is not that of Ghana, but it is something worldwide. Considerations are being made, and I know they will soon be engaged at the most possible time quickly, so that this agitation will be mitigated.
That's the Deputy Transport Minister, Frederick Adum Obing. Let me take you to the police headquarters now. And we know that the IGP, as part of meeting various institutions and stakeholders, is currently meeting members of the creative arts industry. And guess what? Shatawale was forced to apologize to the IGP, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, following some drama of a sort at the auditorium during the meeting with players of the industry. My colleague Ibrahim Ben Brako is there for us. He joins us on the line with details. Give us the lowdown of what actually happened.
So exactly when people are giving their concerns, which happens to be the very reason why we are meeting the IGP, the entertainers are giving their concerns to the IGP so that they will see how they can have a good way forward. So Shatawale walked in with Stone Boy and is seated with Stone Boy. Just as people were coming up with their concerns, Shatawale started talking. What do you mean? What do you mean? And then automatically the place goes silent. And then he goes on by, you take your phone and you think I can't take my phone. If I take my phone and use it, then he got up wanting to step out. Then COP Nathan Boateng also got up and started asking, what do you mean? What is going on there? You should show some respect to the IGP. The whole IGP is sitting there addressing the entertainers and you will just speak anyhow, showing disrespect. Hey, listen, take him to the headquarters and keep him there. Do not release him. What do you mean? Then he walks back. So a group of police officers just walked Shatawale out. So I came out because Bulldog and George Quay were outside. They were talking about what had happened. Then I see A+, and a host of other entertainers come out with COP Nathan Kofi Boateng. And all they said is, please don't let us escalate this. Please, whatever it is, we're sorry, he's sorry. And then he comes to talk to Bulldog, and Bulldog is, we're sorry, but we'll keep everything under control. And then COP, after the plea and the plea from people, he says that, okay, go and call him back, bring him back. Then the same number of policemen who Shatawale from the auditorium brought him back to the auditorium. That is exactly what happened. But it's still ongoing. IGP is still taking concerns of the
And then when he came back to the auditorium, what happened, IB?
When he came back to the auditorium, he was made to down, and also he was told that he should never, ever do that again. That is what happened.
And what was the reaction of the IGP in all this?
Well, the IGP was calm defeated. It was COP who took action. IGP didn't say a word. He was just on looking at what was going on.
But what must have triggered this action from Shatawale, you would say?
That is what we are trying also to understand, because he is seated with Stoneboy and his people around him. So it means I'm project where I was standing. Immediately it started, I could see it. So I just started looking around who he was talking to. I thought he was talking to someone who is seated across him behind G Black. Then I got to know, no, he's not talking. But somebody was also quietly seated. So it is beating everybody's thoughts who he was talking to. If there were to be a police officer around him at that time, I would have attributed it to the police officer, because we were told that we shouldn't film. So I would have thought maybe he was filming and the police officer was trying to tell him not to. But at that immediate point, there was no police officer around him. So we still don't know what triggered that.
So he's still in the meeting as we speak and he's calmer?
Yes, he's calm. He came to sit back at the same position by Stoneboy. And then I saw Stoneboy whisper something to him and signal that, okay, like a calm tension or something of that sort.
But does it look like he's okay? Is everything okay with him?
Yes. Because when he came, he and Stoneboy were talking and they were laughing. Like, you could see that excitement between the two of them. Then all of a sudden, this act.
Thank you very much. That's Ibrahim Ben Brako of Joy Entertainment. Of course, we'll bring you more of this on myjoyonline.com and Joy Entertainment social media platforms as well. That's the meeting currently ongoing with the creative arts industry with the Inspector General of Police. And of course, there was some drama exhibited by Danso Kin, we call him, Shatawale. Well, the General Overseer of Glorious Word Power Ministry International, Reverend Owusu Bempa, and two others who were earlier charged for threat of death on Nana Agrada have been re-arrested. A court correspondent, Joseph Akable, joins me in studio with more on this. Why?
And so the police say that they intend to amend the charges against them. And so in terms of the procedure, they're supposed to make a request to the courts for them to be discharged. So once they were discharged, they were immediately arrested. And we are told that by close of day, the fresh charges should be filed.
Okay, so they are still in custody as we speak?
Yes.
Okay, that's court correspondent Joseph Akable. We'll take a quick break on this because there's a lot to take in at this point. Our top stories, Roads Minister describes as unreasonable demand for the fixing of all deplorable roads by the Akufo-Addo administration, saying government has a plan and will not be distracted by demonstrations. Also, we've been to the Inspector General of Police, the headquarters of the Ghana Police Service, where Shatawale has been forced to apologize to IGP Dr. George Akufu-Dampare following drama at an auditorium during a meeting with players in the creative arts industry. When we return, we have sports and then the sad state of the Volta Region Center of Education Excellence, Bishop Herman.
We believe that some work can be done, put the building in shape to restore it into its former glory, as it were.
It's Hollandia yogurt, a nourishing snack. Check. Vitality. Check. Taste. Check. Vitamins, calcium. Check. It's Hollandia yogurt. It's Hollandia yogurt. Hollandia yogurt.
Enjoy a nourishing boost of vitality with Hollandia yogurt. Available in strawberry and plain sweetened, fortified with vitamins A, B2, B12, and a source of calcium. Grab a pack of nourishment and level up. This advert is FDA approved.
Thanks for choosing the best. It's Joy 99.7 FM. It's time for sports. Muftal, what do we have?
World Football Governing Body FIFA has assured Ghana of fair play in their penultimate World Cup qualifier against Ethiopia. The Ghana FA petitioned FIFA, imploring them to ensure that fair play takes place in their game against Ethiopia after they decided to host their last game in South Africa. Henry Sentichum is a communications director of the Ghana Football Association.
We wrote a petition to FIFA, and in that petition we appealed to FIFA to respect the fair play rule. FIFA came back to us assuring us that there is no cause for alarm. They will make sure the right things are done. They will appoint the right officials, and as we speak they've even appointed a security officer in charge of this game. I haven't seen any security officer for the other games, but as far as this game is concerned, there is a security officer for this game. There have been correspondence between us and FIFA. The assurances are, quite enormous. Yeah. That we should just go there with a clear conscience. The stadium is of higher standard, is world-class stadium. There will not be favoritism anywhere. The officials will be spoken to. We shouldn't also be intimidated by the fact that we are playing in our enemy's territory. Yeah.
That is Henry Asante-Chum, Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association.
Well, in just a few days, we'll be hearing the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, present the 2022 budget. And in our build-up today, we focus on the education sector. So, budget guideline document released by the Finance Ministry projects some 14% increment in allocations to the education sector, with a significant part going to tertiary education. So, the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum, this week said government is working to improving Ghana's gross tertiary enrollment ratio.
The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, during the last State of the Nation address, told the country that he wants to move the gross tertiary enrollment ratio of Ghana from the current 18.8% to 40% by 2030. That is his charge to me as the Minister of Education and his charge to us as a nation, that we need to move these numbers up. Mauritius is 40%.
Well, so that's the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum, Deputy Head of our Research Desk, Winston Amwa, joins me in studio. Winston, essentially, what should we expect?
Well, according to the budget guideline document, in 2022, the projected budgetary allocation for the Education Ministry is 17.8 billion Ghana cedis. And out of this amount, 12.3 billion is expected to be allocated for the payment of wages and salaries. So let me just get to, the comparative analysis, because when it gets to the university education, it's increased from 1.2 billion in 2021 to 1.6 billion in 2022 expected. Basic education, 4.7 billion 2021, 4.7 billion in 2022, and then polytechnic, 417.6 million in 2021, and is expected to increase to 556.2 million in 2022.
Good stuff there. Thank you very much, Winston. Let's head to the Volta region. He also went to school in the Volta region, but we are focusing on Bishop Herman College in Kwando. The school is in ruins. The structure is falling off and is now becoming a danger to students there. Fred Kwame has more.
The school is plagued with infrastructure, road and sanitation challenges. One of the oldest structures on the campus, the giant block, is suffering serious defects. The structure, which accommodates a library, box rooms and dormitories, had sections of its roofs damaged by a storm. This has led to the structure leaking at various parts. The library is not spared. Sections of columns of the corridor have eroded off, exposing iron rods, while others have developed deep cracks. This development endangers the lives of the students.
We believe that some work can be done, put the building in shape to restore it into its former glory, as it were.
The old boys are hoping to raise 500,000 Ghana cedis to commence renovation works on the campus by the end of 2021. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Well, the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, is pledging to initiate processes for the completion of the abandoned government projects on Bishop Herman College lands.
The PSI, we have to find out the history and where the funding was from. Possibly it was something directly funded from the President's office. We have to find out whether Get Fund could take over. The headmaster has to write, then we also take the appropriate action.
Volta Regional Minister Dr. Archibald Lecha ending this afternoon's edition of the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM on myjoyonline.com. Reverend Owusu Bempari arrested as police prepare to press fresh charges. Demonstrations don't build roads. Kwesi Amoakwata NPP's response to the Catholic bishops is what we call the arrogance of power. John Dramani Mahama there. That and more on myjoyonline.com. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil, Elijah to Elisha. Many thanks for your company. Have a good afternoon.
Benjamin! Kweku! Nkwadai na wa he. Akwesi.
Auntie Maggie, I don't know what you move from my anopotutu to say.
Pepesa wabua me. Na me de momo no. Ema ni sika.
Oh, Auntie Maggie Jaisa. Se say momo aye easy cra. Obetimi afre wo momo. Eno anisa obedile.